you guys, it's Danielle from Ask the Mouse, and I am so excited because right now I am standing in front of El Castillo, which also happens to be known as the Temple of Kukulkan. We are here in Chichen Itza, which is one of the new 7 wonders of the world. I'm capturing it all for you, so stay tuned.
Hey there, and welcome to Ask the Mouse. I'm Danielle. Disney has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. What started as childhood magic has grown into a lifelong passion. And now, I get to share that passion with you. Whether you're planning your very first Disney trip or you're a seasoned park veteran looking for something new, I'm here to help you unlock the tips, tricks, and insider knowledge that will make your visit truly magical. My goal is simple: to help you create memories that will last a lifetime. So let's dive in and discover the magic together.
I can't tell you guys how excited I was for our third day, which is where we were port in Progresso, Mexico. Part of the reason why I booked this cruise was because it was going to Progresso, Mexico, and one of the Disney port activities or port adventures that you could book is to go to one of the new 7 wonders of the world, Chichen Itza. And I was just so excited to do this. One of my favorite characters, movie characters, is Indiana Jones. And I love the history, I love archaeology, and I love being able to explore something that has truly been preserved by nature, which is what Chichen Itza truly is. I looked forward to this, and I am still just excited that we did this. I'm thinking about being there, but let me dig into what the experience was. So we docked in Progresso, Mexico. If you are interested in a port adventure where you're going to be docked, then I highly recommend booking it in advance of your cruise. This is going to secure your spot and confirm that you are available, there's enough spots available for you to take part in. Disney goes to several different places. You can go to the Bahamas, you can go to their private island, Castaway Cay or Lighthouse Point. There's so many places you can go aboard Disney Cruise Line when you're selling for your vacation. And Progresso, Mexico has amazing beaches. You could do so many things while you're there. We opted in for the VIP tour of Chichen Itza, which was open for adults as well as kids. You can also do just the adult only tour Chichen Itza or just the regular Chichen Itza tour. Our tour consisted of touring Chichen Itza as well as the Cenote Ik Kil. And the cenote is a sinkhole which is filled with water. And if you watch one of my previous YouTube videos about this, then you will know that this is also a sacred cenote for the Mayan culture. So I won't go into too much detail, but if you know anything about the Mayan civilization and their history, then they were a group of people who truly believed in rituals and how they honored their gods. It's a marvel at how Chichen Itza was built to begin with. You think of the main temple that you see there at Chichen Itza, El Castillo, which is also the temple of Kukulkan. And Kukulkan is one of their gods. I think it resembles a snake, and it's like a feathered serpent snake. One of the things that they did to honor their gods was through sacrifices, human sacrifices. And it has been known, as well as through the archaeological findings, that there are human remains found inside of the Cenote Ik Kil. So I definitely wanted to experience the cenote by seeing it, but I did not want to swim in it. Another thing that was an interesting point is you do have to use a life vest when you're swimming in the cenote. I think that one is about 150 feet deep. Let me confirm on the fact, because I wrote this down, because I knew I would be curious about it, as well as wanting to inform you guys about it. Yes, the Cenote Ik Kil is 150 feet deep, so you do want to make sure you have a life vest on. You can jump off the rocks in the cenote. You can also just float. But let me get back to the tour and then I'll dig into it. When you book a port adventure with Disney Cruise, there are instructions you have to follow. So for our port adventure, we had to be inside the Walt Disney Theater at 8 a.m. The cast members, the crew members, they explained what would happen when we needed to be back aboard the ship. So we left around, let's say 8:30 in the morning, and then we needed to be back on the ship at 5 p.m. The ship was leaving, I think, around 6 p.m. So you need to definitely make sure you're back aboard the ship. Also keep in mind, we had a 5:45 dinner time, so we were trying to just time things. Our tour to Chichen Itza and the Cenote was 7 hours long. We left Progresso, Mexico, got aboard a nice shuttle, a nice bus. It had a bathroom included, and then we had 2 tour guides.
One of the new 7 wonders of the world. That's where we're going today. So how it sounds? Sounds good?
Yay!
Yes. Are you excited about that?
Yes!
Ale and Carlos were incredible. They were very informative. Carlos spoke with us for 2 hours. He gave us so much knowledge and history about the Mayan civilization, what we were going to expect at Chichen Itza as well as in Cenote. And I got all my facts that I have on my phone from Carlos. So I love listening to what he had to tell us about where we were traveling to, the history of the land, how he lives with his family, as well as what we were going to expect. We were able to see artifacts that he had through pictures or physical things, and then just learning about more of the history. Since I didn't do that much research, just getting some more of the context before we got there was great. Our first stop was at the Cenote. It was about 10 minutes away from Chichen Itza, but the entire bus ride to the Yucatan Peninsula was about 2 hours. Like I said, Carlos talked the whole time, so we were thoroughly and highly entertained. At the time, as we were getting closer to the cenote, some of the members aboard the tour, they started changing, went to the bathroom, put on swimsuits, got ready. My family and I did not swim. You can go to the cenote and you don't have to have a swimsuit on or a life vest. The life vest is only needed if you're in the water. But when we were there, one of the perks of our tour is that we got to enjoy lunch. Where the cenote is beautiful. I think if you want, you can look into it more, but you can do an overnight stay at one of the bungalows there. You can enjoy the food in the restaurant and just have as much fun going in the cenote. I think it closed at like 4 p.m. You can check the timings, but if you just want to swim, jump in the water, relax, you can do that. You truly plan your experience when you're on these tours. You can do, again, as much or as little as you want. At the cenote, I think we were there for under 2 hours. We got there first and we ate. There was a buffet available. There was chicken, fish, spaghetti, some really good desserts. That was like a coconut frozen dessert. And then afterwards, my family and I decided to go to the top where the cenote is and look out. You could kind of see how vast, how deep the sinkhole actually is, the beautiful nature of the greenery just falling down. And if you want, you can also walk downstairs.
Hey you guys, it's Danielle from Ask the Mouse, and today we are in a very special place. We are in the Yucatan Peninsula at a cenote. It has very special significance to the Mayan culture, and it's very close by one of the new 7 wonders of the world, Chichen Itza.
If you are one who is interested in seeing the cenote, I definitely highly recommend going down the steps to see it. Seeing the cave, so to speak, itself was just beautiful, making our way down there. And as you walk down the stairs and you get to the bottom where the cenote is and you see the opening, it's breathtaking. It's truly beautiful. Great place to take family photos. I liked it. I liked the experience.
This is the Cenote Ik Kil.
But I also did start thinking contextually about the sacrifices, the rituals. The Mayan truly believed that the most precious thing that they could offer to the gods was their life, a life. So yes, some people were sacrificed. They were thrown in the cenote. And that is all I will say about that right now. Okay, so some rules as well. I think if you were going to cenote, you had to have a life vest on. You could not be in there without one. And then you also have to shower, I think, prior to getting the cenote and for sure afterwards. There are lockers, so you don't have to worry about bringing everything. You get a wristband that lets the team members at the Cenote know that you are certified to be in there, or authorized to be at the park and experiencing the cenote. So it's really fun, it's really cool, and it's amazing to be able to see. After the cenote, we got back on our bus and we drove 10 minutes to Chichen Itza, and I was like, yes, this is gonna be so exciting. But for someone like me, as content creators, as someone who's documenting the trip, there are some things you have to know. Chichen Itza is one of the new 7 wonders of the world. It is a UNESCO protected site, and they have a lot of restrictions. If you have a big old, I guess, professional photography lens, you can't bring that in. I could not bring in my microphones that I use, either the fuzzy one that's on the top of my Sony camera either. You can pay, I forget the price, I think it was $5 at the time to bring in some of your equipment. Some of it just is not accepted. Tripods, handheld tripods, the physical one that I'm using right now to capture this video could not be brought in. Everything that I captured, which I hope you will enjoy seeing on Instagram or the YouTube video, I did using my hands as my stabilizer, and I could not have my mics. I couldn't use mics, so I try my best to capture the experience there, but just using the microphone from the camera or my personal cell phone. So that's just something you need to be aware of. There are some restrictions if you're trying to capture things. You can definitely bring your camera in if it's something that's more handheld, or your phone, and take beautiful pictures. We definitely did as a family. But you just also are thinking about, it's a site that's protected and you want to respect the rules that are required. Chichen Itza is massive. Our tour there was probably less than 2 hours, but our tour guides kept saying that you can spend 3 days there if you want to see everything. We got to see the ball court and seeing it up close, and everything a part of the architecture, the court itself, the murals, the buildings, the temples. It's just incredible. Like, I want to go back and just immerse myself in it more. And then of course, El Castillo. We took some amazing pictures in front of El Castillo. We learned about the significance of the temple itself as it relates to the Mayan culture, the calendar, how there are 91 steps to make it to the top of the temple, which you can't climb anymore since it is a protected site. There are 91 steps on each side of El Castillo. I guess the more fun facts that I'll share, Chichen Itza can receive 12,000 to 13,000 visitors a day, and in the most highly trafficked time, that number doubles in high season. The Mayans had 22 different gods. The cenote was like an access to the gods. It was like a portal, so to speak. So El Castillo, you see, is this temple made of limestone, but then underneath the temple itself is another sinkhole. So then you start thinking about the archaeology of it, you think about the architecture, and then you start thinking, how is this huge temple built underneath a sinkhole with water? I asked our tour guide, Ale, what's inside? And there is another temple inside of El Castillo that looks like it, but it's smaller. And then of course at the top of the temple, that's another place where sacrifices were made. So if you've ever seen any of the National Geographic or Wikipedia pictures of Chichen Itza, at the top there was a jaguar seated table, and it was red with jade inlaid. The jade came from Guatemala, and that's where the king sat. And there's another seated statue, I'm forgetting the name of it now, but the sacrifice was also put on that seated part of that statue, and that's where the king watched. And again, I just start thinking of the context. I think about their civilization and how it's something that, you know, may not be easy for me to understand, but I definitely respect. That's what they believed in. That's also how they lived. They use the Mayan calendar to know when it's time to harvest and when it's time to plant the crops and everything. And it's truly fun to think about the genius of some of it. But yeah, I love El Castillo. I love seeing the ball court. I love playing with the rubber ball we could see that was on display. You could not purchase it, but there's a rubber ball there where you can kind of imagine how the ball court game would have taken place, with the players using their hips and trying to get into that small gap, that smaller diameter in the court, which I think the walls were 21 feet high. So just kind of thinking of that in terms of the games that we play today, from football to basketball, and then that as a sport, it's truly cool. Like, all of it is a marvel. But I love Chichen Itza. After the experience, we got back on the bus. We had another 2-hour ride back into Progresso, and I was just taking everything in. Like, of course, when I got home, I did a lot more research. But if you were interested in visiting Chichen Itza, I highly recommend doing it. Back on board the ship, it was our 3rd dining rotation. We were at Animator's Palette. We went back, I changed, and then I got excited because I got to go to one of my favorite restaurants.
If you're like me and love all of the Disney movies and are inspired by the work of animators, then you have to visit Animator's Palette for a magical dining experience. It's going to be one that is so unforgettable because the first time I experienced it, I actually cried.
If you haven't experienced Animator's Palette before, I'll give you a nice summary without trying to spoil things because it's a really fun, magical dining rotation. Animator's Palette is themed to get you into like this environment of what it's like to be an animator. The process they go through to sketch a character, how they bring them to life from a sketch into this animated character, truly. So the restaurant has these large paintbrushes that kind of serve as columns throughout the restaurant, and they're black and white, and your wait staff has these fun black and white character shirts on, and everyone just kind of feels like they're preparing for something. You don't know what it is yet. When it comes to the dining utensils, this happens to be my favorite because the butter spoon for the bread service is shaped like a paintbrush and it has a little swirl on it. You can buy this if you want. You can buy this butter knife in the gift shop for $12.99. We did buy one ourselves. I'll go into the food itself. I had a really great truffle ricotta pasta. I think it was cheese filled on the inside, and the truffle sauce was delicious. That was one of my appetizers, along with butternut squash soup was so good. And then for my main course, I also enjoyed the grilled tenderloin, which had a wasabi mashed potato, and the wasabi taste was spicier than I thought. It was a little strong, but the potatoes weren't green. They were regular potato colored, but it was really delicious. The food was great, and my favorite dessert, I think, of the dining rotations was also at Animator's Palette, and it was the warm, sticky date pudding. Caramel sauce on the top. If you've ever had one of these, then you know what I'm talking about. This warm little pastry, this cake that is date flavored. It's just, mwah, it's so good. As you're eating your food, you'll see these big screens throughout the theater, which are frames, and inside is a digital screen that showcases what at first just looks like a blank sheet of paper, and you start seeing a character's sketch come to life, whether that is Yzma or Rapunzel or Princess Tiana. They're showcasing how these characters' faces are developed, and then they start adding color to the characters as the night comes on. And then after color, you start seeing motion, and it just starts to tell a story of the movement and the characteristics of the character. And then right before dessert, as everyone has their food inside the restaurant, there is a show. And at the end, I won't spoil too much, but I will say that Fantasia, the Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, is there to top off the night, and it's truly magical. But I have footage, you can watch it if you are interested in it, but it's one of my favorite dining rotations. That night, after a restaurant experience, we were able to go to the Walt Disney Theater, and I think the show that night is called Twice Charmed. It's a rendition of Cinderella in the event that the evil stepmother got her way with her 2 daughters. What happens to Cinderella? They're trying to ensure that Cindy doesn't get married to the Prince Charming, and it's a fun show. Highly recommend that one as well. Afterwards, again, I think I took a lot of photos of the characters. So night 3 was a great night for character photos. I took photos with Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse And then who else was it? I want to say I just did Mickey and Minnie that night, and I was just like, I'm good. I feel fulfilled. I got the OGs that I want to take pictures with. And the next day I did do more character photos, so.